Is this the one? Is it fixed? Do we have audio? That's the one. Okay. All right. Now I have a reputation to fix as well after all of that lip reading. Welcome to the news. Welcome to the news. What a moment. What a moment. Do you guys want to know what fixed it? I can't prove that this is an Apple problem, but I want to prove that it's an Apple problem eventually, whatever work it takes. I unplugged it from the Mac and then plugged it back into the Mac. That didn't fix it. I rebooted the Mac. That didn't fix it. I unplugged it from the Rode and back into the Rode. And that fixed it. But Mac had reset all the settings, like all the virtual devices and stuff, so I had to go and remap them to what I wanted inside of OBS. So, good job, Mac. All right, let's get into the news. I am sorry about skipping these last... I have been working really, really hard, and I have been super busy. I don't take it lightly when I miss a stream. I know that I try to be very consistent with the streams when I do stream. And so sorry, I missed a couple this last week. I have been hard at work. I promise you. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into the news. Finally, I know that's what you guys all came for. Hey DVD, what's up? Look at this. I have like spackling on my hands and paint, just to prove that I've actually been working hard. Okay, let's get into the news. So we have a lot to cover in the news. There was actually a lot of really interesting things that came up. I've tried to limit it to stuff that I think will be interesting to engineers, software engineers. There's a couple things that are maybe outside of that, but I've tried to limit it because there is so much news to cover. So one of the first things, I know later this year, we've wanted to make a very small little game. And so the very first thing is something that I'm actually really excited about, not because professional engineers are going to probably flock to using this, but because I think it's going to be a really valuable educational tool. In fact, it's something that I've had in Game Maker Studio that my kids have used, and I want to show you guys because I'm like really excited about this. Godot has been moving forward. They got some funding when Unity, did its thing. So they got some more funding, and they've really been working and moving and improving. And so they did some stuff for people. For their forum to recognize people that are working and helping on Godot, making Godot better. And one of the things that I saw that has come out of all of this work is block coding for Godot. Like I said, I hate block coding from like an actual engineer. It's slower than actually writing the stupid code in the most part. But you know how awesome this is for children to learn logic, about logic computer flows? It's actually really awesome. So there's this block code plugin, block coding for Godot. I haven't tested whether you can go from the block code to the script. Like that would be really awesome if it would convert this to the GD script. Even if it doesn't though, this is really cool for children to get into. I'm going to see if maybe one of the things we can't do on stream is actually make a game with my kids using this. I think I can set it up where they have a laptop, I have a computer, and their laptop monitor goes into the stream. I think that would be a ton of fun, especially if there was some kids that wanted to join that stream and watch and see another kid doing it. So yeah, I'm like super excited about that. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I said, not something an engineer would use. This is harder than just writing the same code, but yeah. It's Sketch in Godot. Yeah. It's Sketch in Godot. I was at a JavaScript convention. The lies. You know all those like once you get famous enough, something is going to get leaked about you, whatever it is. And that's going to be like my big thing is like, I'm actually a TypeScript enjoyer. That's like, my big secret that I've been hiding is I'm an actual TypeScript enjoyer. But yeah, so I was really excited about that. I know that it's probably not super interesting to you professional engineers, so we'll move on. But if you have a child that's learning to program, or wants to play around with making a game, it makes it very obtainable to make a game, and that's awesome. So if you know somebody that's wanting to make a game or try it or to learn, I think that's, now I haven't tried that, but we will later this year, for sure. So yeah. Awesome. So let's jump into security where we feel a little bit more comfortable. We have a big MySQL. Who would have guessed MySQL having a catastrophe? Let's talk about it. Now, this I think is maybe a little bit of, maybe a little bit extreme, but Percana released this. Do not upgrade to any version of MySQL after 8.0.37. Now, what is this and why is this an issue? Well, this is an issue because, unfortunately, there's a bug that will cause your MySQL instance to crash and then never be able to restart. Now, there's a very specific event, and that is having a large number of tables. It's very repeatable with 10,000 tables. If you make 10,000 tables, it will crash immediately, and it will continue to crash, effectively leaving you without a database because you can't go in there to delete the tables. So this only affects a very, 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 very small number of people. Very small. This is a very large number of tables. Just so we're clear, but it's something to be aware of. A very interesting part of this is if you try to investigate it. So they've recreated it. You can go and you can actually go and download their bash script to recreate it if you want. But the worst part is the MySQL team has privated the bug. So there was the bug, and it's been privated, so only Oracle people, which is really, really suspicious for a supposedly open project. So the bug is now private. Right, Apollo, like I said, I think a lot of people don't have this problem. A lot of sane people don't have it. 10,000 tables is a lot of tables. Like, it's a whole lot of tables. But yeah, this is classic Oracle. This is classic Oracle. Why would you private it? Like, why would you do that? It's classic Oracle, but anyways, like I said, I want you guys to be aware of it. I think it's important to be aware of it because if you're at a major corporation that might be pushing something like 10,000 small tables for whatnot, it's important to know because basically it's unrecoverable at this point without a fix. So maybe the report was held in a MySQL server that's no longer online. It's confirmed. Bugzilla is using MySQL. Fantastic. Oh. So I know for a fact that Facebook used to use MySQL, and they used to have more than 10,000 tables. I don't know their architecture nowadays, but when they were writing more on it, they did. Because basically they had federated their MySQL cluster, and they were running on like 10,000 machines, and the whole company just allocated new tables in that same database. Whether, like, not saying that's a good architecture or anything. I'm just saying it's an insane number, but I do know it has happened. All right, Palo Alto Networks patches a critical flaw in their migration tool. So if you were using this, it's a pretty big deal because this is a security tool. So definitely be aware of that. I don't know that it affects many software engineers. This is more like your big enterprise networks, but go for it. A big thing here is the Raidus protocol leaves network equipment open to attack. Again, this is more your SREs or your network admins or some of those types of things. But I thought I'd just bring it up. Probably none of us, but it is a big issue for man-in-the-middle attacks. And so you might want to be up on this if that happens to be you. But we'll move on other than that. Moving on, a hacker stole OpenAI secrets, raising fears that China could too. I don't really care about the China could too. I think that this brings up a bigger issue that we haven't really talked about a lot, is the fact that these AI companies are data hogs. They are scraping all of the data that they can find, including passwords, secrets, certificates, literally everything they can find. It makes them super valuable targets to hack. Because if you can hack them, you get that treasure trove of data. So I think that if I was going to regulate anything at this point, which I'm pretty against regulating things that haven't been proven to have a need to have regulation, one of the things that I would be up for, which already has some momentum, is if you're going to obtain large amounts of information on people, there should be some sort of regulation in place for how you protect that data. I think that would be a good one. Instead of some stupid thing like if you use 10,000 GPUs, that's a stupid regulation. All right, let's talk about RockU 2024. Get rocked. Nearly 10 billion passwords leaked online. This is why it's important to use a password manager that will check your passwords versus leaked passwords. I think in the year of 2024, this is the reason you don't do not passwords. You have to have a password manager. You have to know if it's been leaked online. And, a lot of them will do that for you. So if you need a password manager, use Bitwarden. It will do it. You can get a $1 a month plan. That's amazing. That's fantastic. You can do a $5 a month family plan. They don't pay me. They don't sponsor me. Bitwarden, if you want to sponsor this news section, you're more than welcome to join me and sponsor the news. Let's move on. Do I dislike? I don't dislike KeePass. Nope. There are a few I dislike. There are a few that I dislike. I use Bitwarden because it's been good. They've been responsive to times they've had issues. It's impossible for me to keep up with all of them. So it's a good general purpose one that has apps for everything. So if your grandmother or your mom or your dad want one, that's the one I always point them to because it's known well enough. It has all the apps that they could use. So that's generally why I recommend it. I like it, but it's there. There are others. There are others. We should make a list. That will be a lot of work, but maybe we'll do that. We'll compile a list of all the ones that are out there. But this is I only bring this up because it's why it's so important. Because even if you have a random password, that random password could get leaked. Password manager tier list. We'll do it. I feel somewhat. I'll have to make up some random criteria because, we'll do a password tier list. That will be fun. That will be fun. Good video idea. Thank you. Password tier list. 1 second. Let me document that. Let me get a document. Password manager. put it in a to-do column of the videos. So if you guys want, you know, like I said, we're doing that all in Obsidian in that thing. So when that gets pushed, you'll be able to see the progress. I could probably make a couple shorts out of it. You know what? I need your guys' help. If there's a bit that happens in a live stream that you think would be a good short, I don't have the time to rewatch all my content and go through it. If you guys do, just you guys can't leave markers, can you? I'll find some way for you to mark. So like some way for, maybe we'll program it into our bot so you guys can leave a marker, like any of the VPs, VIPs. I'll make it so that the VIPs can mark. That would be a cool short. It doesn't take long to snip something out and do that. It takes a little bit of time for me to go and, you know, find those things. And maybe I can get better about marking it. Leave me comments on how I could do that better. I might be able to enable something on YouTube side. Oh, okay. Let me look into it, or if you guys find something, let me know. And then where I post those shorts. That's actually another really good question. Where I post those shorts. Do I post them on the Null Labs YouTube channel, or do I post them on the Null Bytes where I kind of do those videos? I'm not sure. When I was last doing YouTube, the reason I have two channels, one for the bytes and one for the regular things, is I found when I mixed and matched, people didn't like it. So I don't do that anymore. Now I don't know about shorts. Can I mix and match shorts with those other two channels? I don't want a third channel. So I'm thinking I'll put it in with the Null Bytes. I think, because it's coming from the live stream, right? It's like shorts from the live stream. So I think I'll just do it in the Null Bytes. We'll see. We'll see. Thanks for the ideas. I appreciate it. I do really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So I brought up 2 weeks ago where there was a massive car dealer ransom attack. I'm just bringing it up because it's finally coming to a close. It's been ongoing. Basically, it's been hard to buy a car in the United States because of this. We're going to see a huge hit in monthly revenue from like Ford and Chevy and all of those. I think I would guess because of the CDK global incident. So I'm just updating you guys. It's mostly cleared up, and we can move on. Apache fixed a source code disclosure flaw in the Apache HTTP server. The Apache Foundation addressed a critical source code disclosure vulnerability tracked as this in the HTTP server. So the vulnerability includes denial of service, remote code execution, and unauthorized access issues. So basically, this was a catch-all for some stuff, and there was a lot of stuff to catch. And this is pretty serious. So if you're using the Apache server, I'm going to link this for you all. I'm going to link this because if you guys are using Apache, it's definitely something that you need to look into to see if you're vulnerable or not. And a lot of people are very vulnerable. So keep up to date. Keep up to date and check that out. That came out July 7th. I'm a little behind on that one. I feel bad about it. I didn't see it until then. Now, you know it's a good week when on is on the top of our list. You know that it's just a good week when we have an entire section devoted to Python. All right, so let's jump into our Python. Did anybody else see any security issues before we move on? Now, what do you know? How do you know a language is great? Mostly, you know a language is great when that language fixes problems in other languages. That's when you know a language is really great. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. Welcome to Rough, a win for open source because it fixes Python. Yeah, you get one of the most advanced linters for Python is written in Rust. Rust is saving Python from itself. Check out this Rough. It's rough for all the other Python linters. Super. It's awesome. So check it out if you're writing some Python. We're going to be writing some Python in a couple of weeks. You guys don't know it yet, but we're going to be doing some Python, and it's going to be glorious. So check it out. Python meets JavaScript WASM with the magic of PyMonkey. PyMonkey enables developers to use Python code in JavaScript with virtually no performance loss. I'll believe it when I see it. Virtually no performance loss is 2 times the execution time is generally what I see when they say that. Just understand that it will run 2 times slower. So if it took 10 seconds to run, it will take 20 seconds to run. So this is a new WebAssembly thing that supposedly brings Python to the WebAssembly. Now, we were using our own Py2Wasm, but supposedly this is a much better PyMonkey is. So we'll have to try that over Py2Wasm, which we made maybe the only official container for. Yeah, so there you go. The other thing that I saw was Crawly, and I wanted your guys' opinion because one of the things that we're going to do for the news section is we're actually going to crawl some of these news websites and use an AI to try to help me filter what is interesting for you all, which means you guys are going to get help rate what things are good and what things are bad, and we're going to leverage that. So I've seen some things. Crawly seems like a really good one. It's in Python, and there's also Voyager, which is written in Rust, but it doesn't seem to have nearly as many features or nearly as supported. So, as the end of the Python section, I'm asking you all, what is the best web crawler and scraper that you know of? Because we're going to need to use that in our machine learning with Python. So we'll probably just do it all in Python. That's the whole point there. So yeah, let me know what you guys would like to use. This is the Python section, Russell. That was the whole Python section. I had fun with it. Python because I want to use LLM tools without hating my life. Right. Yes. The Python language ecosystem is in shambles. It is. You know what I like? Do you know what I like to say is a good judge of a language? DVD. I understand that you can always use whatever language you want. It's how easy it is. How many tools, how many packages, how many APIs have been wrapped that can just work. I understand that we could make all of it in Rust. 100%. We don't even have to use TensorFlow or PyCharm. We could write all of those things ourselves as well because those just wrap some C libraries, right? So get rid of all of it. We could just do all of it. But my thing is I don't want to reinvent all the wheels. I just want to use other people's wheels. I want to put 27 different wheels other people have made that are all different sizes and get something that kind of rolls down the road. Not smoothly, but it kind of rolls down the road. That's the idea. So what I generally say is a good judge of a language. $27, it's the goal. I know it's not DVD. I know. This is Twitch. I have to take everything to the extreme. I fully understand. Python is probably the easiest to use, though, if we just keep it all in Python. I also looked for a good Rust web scraper and crawler, and I didn't find one. If somebody finds one that's fully feature rich, I would probably use it in a heartbeat, because that's probably a separate system. I didn't find one. So like I said, maybe I just didn't see it, and in that case, that's my bad. But oh, JavaScript might be a good solution for the web crawler. You're right. Maybe that is. I'm open for whatever web scraper is the best web scraper out there to leverage. Let's just leave it at that. I don't know what it is. I don't really do web scraping a whole lot. But yeah, we're shooting for 27 different wheels. 27. Let's move on. Let's talk. We have. All right. Do you guys want to do AI first or OpenAI drama? All right. We'll start with the drama. Earlier this week, can we scope to 28 wheels? Not yet, DVD. Not 28 wheels yet, okay? You know, I'm going to have to push back on scope creep for a little bit. 27 is the number. And if we have scope creep, it needs to be a prime number, okay? After that, after 27, needs to be a prime number. I know 27 isn't a prime number, but after 27, it needs to be. Let's talk about the OpenAI drama. So, earlier this week, Microsoft announced that it was stepping away from the OpenAI board seat because it thought that OpenAI didn't need it anymore. It said, I think it's in a good enough spot with Sam Altman under our wing. We don't need that observer seat on the board anymore. Like it was an altruistic move that they were even doing it to help steady the ship. Okay? That's what it seemed like from their announcement. What happened is more like Microsoft and Apple ditch OpenAI board seats amid regulatory scrutiny. Yeah, this was not an altruistic move by Microsoft. The regulators have wondered about Microsoft and Apple and what it means. And yeah, not this altruistic move that they painted as. You should. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. On top of all of this, we get another scathing report from one of the early things. Now, I'm not going to go through the paywall for this because this is their thing, but another one of the engineers that left OpenAI wrote a thing on how Sam Altman must go. This is not the first. This is probably not the last. Sam Altman has come under quite a bit of scrutiny at this point for how the handling. The funny thing about this article is, like I said, I'm not going to show what they don't want to be shown. But one of the really funny things that they do is they actually state that OpenAI is going to be like the Titanic. That is their direct analogy. Is that they're in such a rush that they're just going to fail, but we'll see. Shocked Pikachu face. Yeah. So anyways, moving on from OpenAI drama, we can talk about AI drama in general. Tesla Insider says Elon optimized full self-driving routes for himself and influencers. The influencer ones are kind of, yeah, I got it. Which is going to have to go into our this is going to have to go into our Honest AI ad that I've been working on. This is hilarious, is that he's literally had people working hundreds of thousands of dollars. These type of engineers are not cheap to make his drive better, his full self-driving drive better. That's hilarious. And this, yeah, sadly, this is the state of marketing. This is the state of marketing. You hand this to influencers. You know where those influencers are going to drive because it's going to be around where they are. You're going to make it work better in those areas. 100%. Now, we have an ad break. While we're doing this, I'm going to talk about what I have seen, what you guys are talking about here. OpenAI needs to pivot because it needs to take it so far. It doesn't seem like it's going amazing for them in the long run. Apollo, I don't think they're making billions. I think they're burning cash, Apollo. I think they're 100% burning cash. That's why Sam Altman wants to actually take it as a for-profit company and raise another round of money. Not because they're making money. If they were making billions of dollars, that wouldn't be what they're doing. They have an insanely high cost of operation. They have an insanely high cost of labor. You're talking about to keep their engineers, they're paying their engineers $900,000 a year. NVIDIA is making billions. NVIDIA, we do know the NVIDIA, 100%. NVIDIA is making billions of dollars. Absolutely. I mean, we have the numbers. We have the numbers. $26.04 billion, just, which is up 262% year over year. We have 30 more seconds on our ads. You know what? I realized that I kind of like half shout scream while streaming. I'm gonna try to remember to fix that. So I'm not so. I'm gonna try to go more towards the smooth jazz voice of Merrick. You know, that relaxing voice that we can just sit and listen to, instead of like yelling at you guys. I don't even know why I get so yelly. I don't know. Now, I absolutely agree with Cat Muffin that I don't see this trend continuing, but we'll see. The future is the only thing that will tell us. Let's continue on with the news with Merrick. All right, further news in AI was this. I didn't release it in the cloud where you have cloud news, but I wanted to talk about AWS App Studio Preview. Now, one of the reason I wanted to talk about this was because of the ridiculous claims that they're making. So you guys, you and I are all going to make an app with this. The AWS App Studio is a generative AI powered service that uses natural language to build enterprise-grade applications, empowering a new set of builders to create applications in minutes. With App Studio, technical professionals without deep software development skills, such as IT project managers, data engineers, and enterprise architects, can quickly develop business applications tailored to their organization's skills. AWS is saying that with AWS App Studio Preview, a non-technical or slightly technical person can make enterprise-grade applications in minutes. That's a pretty big claim. This is huge. If this does 3/4 of what they're claiming, it's huge. And so we're going to have to test it. We're going to have a stream just testing this. It's huge. We're going to try it. I will pay for trying it. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Now, I want to ask, do you guys want me to wait to test this for the AI games? Should it be a section of the AI games? Or do you want it sooner than that? CRUD plus Excel export. You know what? I don't know, DVD. Does it give you a cloud formation? I don't know. I don't know. It does it in minutes, though. Amazing. Like I said, I don't believe it. I honestly don't. But the claims that this makes is huge. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to give it a try. I might make this a bonus day. Tell you what. We're going to make this a bonus day of the AI games. If we can reach some audacious viewer goal in the AI games, I will do an extra day where we just do this. Because it's going to cost me money. I'm going to make it a goal. We're going to say something like an average of 30 viewers, which is a lot for me. If we get an average of 30 viewers during our AI games, I will do this. How's that sound? All right. We'll set it as a goal. We'll set it as a goal. It will be fun. Or hopefully it will be fun. And we'll see how it goes. All right. In other news, goodbye manual prompting. Hello programming with DSPY. This is for Python, and this is for DS. All right. So this is an interesting application of an LLM trying to help you use that LLM with coding. This is actually another thing that I want to try. It stands for Declarative Self-Improving Language Programs. I think this is for Python. This should be DSLP, not PY. I have no idea, honestly, what this stands for. I don't think the author knows what it stands for. This would be DSLP, but this is DSPY. I thought it was Python. Now no one knows. Now no one knows. DSILP. Yeah, I don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. Anyways, it's interesting. So the reason I brought this up was because it actually has, it does two different things. Basically, it uses the LMs with prompts and waits for each step. But then the second thing, which is an interesting take, is it has these optimizers, which are these algorithms that try to tune your corrections to the AI generation. So I think that's an interesting take and an interesting attempt at fixing some of the flaws with AI code generation. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. This is really cool. So I've said from the very start that AIs and ML are really advanced statistical analysis, right? And this is the type of stuff that I think really amazing statistical analysis can do. Why? Because statistical analysis is really good at anomaly detection, looking at things that don't normally happen. And so having an AI assistant that can go and look through data for things that are anomalies is right up its alley. I have been saying this over and over, and I'm like just so excited that companies are starting to come around to this idea, that they're starting, and I have said for security investigations, for actually anomaly detection in a live running production environment, this is where these things should shine. This is, I'm so over trying to get AI, the AI that we have to do things that it's not designed to do. We're like, hey, let's have it code because it's statistical analysis. It should be great at coding, because why shouldn't statistical analysis take all the garbage code that's written by garbage engineers on the internet and make really amazing code? Because statistics, that's not how statistics works. I'm telling you, statistics says if you give it a ton of code and that code is mediocre at best, it's going to give you statistically mediocre code. That's the best it can do. Why don't we put statistical analysis to work where it's good? Stop trying to make it do things that it's not good at. I'm actually really excited about this. This is the type of thing that I think these things would be really, really good at. And I'm sorry to harp on it. I'm over the hype, and I want to, this is the same problem I've had with blockchain. Blockchain solves some really hard problems. If you guys have ever done consensus, unknown consensus is even harder, and they've done it. Let's start using it for things that it's useful for. Let's do it. Let's actually do it. Instead, we just give them all a bad name by doing this crap. Sorry, I'm moving on. Using PY and not referring to Python is an absolute betrayal of expectations. I agree. It wasn't even like Pico Yetis. If it was Pico Yetis and they abbreviated that to PY, I'd be like, well, that's a letdown. But at least I understand. It wasn't even PY. Like, I don't... now Pico Yetis is going to be a thing. Now I can't get that out of my head. Russell, you kill me. You literally kill me. You're you're not my most stressful. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm just teasing you back. All right. I am advocating for us to use technology to solve real people's problems, not what we do now. Okay. And this is what we do now. This is what we do now. I bring this up right after this because this is what I am so tired of. These articles that are out there deceiving people purposefully. First of its kind test uses machine learning to predict dementia up to 9 years in advance. Do you know what? If you actually dig into this, it's statistical analysis. That's all that's being done on here. And because, yes, it is what we do call machine learning, that is what it is. But it's a group of really smart people that did statistical analysis to detect anomalies that happened in people that had dementia. And statistical analysis is really good at this. That's what it does. But people use this to talk about LLMs and OpenAI and whatnot. This is nothing like what OpenAI does. This is nothing like, this isn't even machine learning. Statistical analysis. And we need to stop it. I'm sorry. I got a little passionate about this because I've just seen so much. I've seen so much of it, and I'm trying to do my part. You know, I know that I'm not a big voice on this, but I'm trying to do my part in talking about it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then I saw this, and I wanted to share this with you guys because I got super excited about this. AI's movement of disillusionment. I saw this, and I was like, Matt Assay. I'm going to say Assay because that sounds the best that I came up with right on there. Matt, you and I need to talk. If you'd like to join my stream, I'm actually going to try to get in contact with Matt because I agree. Once we get past the disappointment that AI can't solve everything, we can use it for things that it's actually good at. And I disagree with the word of AI here, but I get it because that's what people are calling it. And we need to do this. We need to do this. We have companies that are firing people on the idea that AI is going to fix the problems with them. And then we've actually seen people hiring them back. UPS is an example of this. They fired a bunch of managers because they said AI is going to make them more productive. And guess what they've been doing? They've been hiring them back. I've been watching. They haven't said anything about him, but they have a bunch of managers for hire. Guess what? Their service has sucked more. UPS used to be the one that I could depend on. The last 6 months, it's gotten worse. Good job, AI. Stop making decisions based off of something that hasn't come to fruition. All right. Let's move on to something I'm less passionate about. Let's talk about Windows. Actually, this is just general engineering. I think you guys will find this stuff really interesting. Let's talk about Windows. Let's talk about Windows. Just one thing about Windows. Microsoft finally updates the Linux kernel in WSL after 2.5 years. Now, I've talked about this, and I didn't even know that they hadn't been updating it. But a really big deal has come out of this. Something amazing. Windows is revolutionized by this. This has enabled the revolution of Windows is now a top tier. It's in the top 3 OSs. I guarantee it. Top 4, maybe. Top 4 OSs now because of this change. Arch has come to WSL. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't know. I don't know this Vanille person. But they brought Arch to WSL. It's not an official Arch. I get it. But it's there. Oh, has it been around for a while? I didn't even know that. I just found it. I did not know that. Vanille, good job. We needed an official community report. It's kind of hard, though. Arch is not fun to support. While we're talking about the most superior operating system out there, I'm teasing, by the way. Emil automated Arch install. Amelia, I think it's Amelia. I said Emil. I don't know why. Amelia is your new best friend for installing Arch Linux. It's a bash script with a slick TUI. I've never heard of TUI as like your automated solution, but it does some pretty nice things for you. So one of the things that it does is it does generally the fstab stuff that you would need for initializing your disks. So if you're kind of uncomfortable going for partitioning disks, Amelia supposedly does all of that for you if you have unused disks. And so it allows you to deal with that and does the disk management for you, which is actually pretty nice if you're new to Arch and you'd like this. I'm kind of excited about this. It's pretty cool. It's 6,000 lines of bash, which is kind of terrifying. All right, Zed, the GPU accelerated IDE written in Rust, is now available for Linux. Everybody. I downloaded it just for you. Check this out. Enable Vim mode is right there. Yes, it is burning our eyes. Is it burning our eyes? Yes, it is. Give feedback. Where's the dark mode? Where is the dark? I hadn't even opened it up. I just did Arch, or I just did yay, not install, SYU, Arch, or Zed. It was just, it's already, like, not only did they make it work on Linux, they put it in package managers. Is there no, oh, themes. Oh, fantastic. Is there Cachapuchin? I don't know how to pronounce it. Does not look like it has the one true one. But there, now our eyes are not bleeding. We're going to give it a try. Not today, but we're going to give it a try. I'm excited. Code at the speed of thought. Choose a key map, install the CLI, sign into GitHub Copilot. So it has extensions, it has GitHub Copilot. We're going to give it a try. I'm excited about it. Like I said, they did a lot here with the Zed editor where you could do it on all of these different ones. So go for it. They even support Nix. Check it out. What a group of people. What a group. On Mac, it's great. Yeah, so I don't use the Mac. So I haven't gotten to use it. So I'm going to give it a try. We've been testing. I need to do a tier list of editors. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a tier list of editors, but I got to give Zed a try. I've been kind of dilly-dallying on my editor tier list since Zed has been on the horizon. They've been like, we're working on Linux. We're working on it. I didn't think it was going to happen, and it happened. So we're going to try it. All right. Speaking of Zed downloads Node.js binaries and NPM packages from the internet without the user's consent. So this isn't a big deal, but this is something that actually a lot of editors have had to deal with because a lot of them try to make things easy and just work. And so this is actually something that that in Visual Studio Code, whenever you open up a new repository, it asks you, it says, hey, do you trust the developers of this code? And that's actually what it's looking for, is if you say yes, it's going to actuate some of those things. It can do NPM scripts and it can download those things and it can, but it doesn't do it automatically anymore. So I expect them to fix this. I expect them to implement something like that, like what Visual Studio Code has done, where it says, hey, do you trust the developers? Do you want to run Cargo on this project? Because the thing is, this would suck if Cargo didn't work, if you couldn't run and debug your project from in here. But if you're going to run and debug your project, Cargo has to download stuff, which means Zed is doing that on you, on your behalf. Again, this is where, this is just a growing pain for a new editor. Absolutely. It's fine. It's fine. I saw this and I just wanted to let people understand, you know, Visual Studio Code didn't do that at first either, did they? Nope, they didn't. A text editor written in Rust in 2024. Of course, they support Nix. IBM aims for quantum event with QuizKit 1.0. QuizKit 1.0. This is something I've actually emailed IBM. I doubt they respond to me, but I want to do some streams with quantum computing. if I can get my hand, it's expensive as crap. So I can't afford to do it without it, but I would love to dip my toes, just my toes, into it. We'll see if I can get an IBM sponsorship for some QuizKit. QuizKit 1.0. All right. The last thing is this. Rust-lang semantic versioning still breaks too many apps. This is not a Rust issue. They talk about Rust, but this is an anybody issue. Semantic versioning is easy in theory, hard in actual practice. What breaks people and what doesn't. So a lot of people understand the major, minor, and patch. And, minor are new functionality that's backwards compatible, bug fixes that's backwards compatible, and major versions are incompatible. But when is your API incompatible? Well, what's really cool is Rust has come up with, I'm not going to say a perfect fix, but a pretty good fix. Semantic versioning, or the cargo semver checks, is a project that I've just found that actually looks for things that changed in your API from your last commit that are breaking changes. And basically, you can add this to your GitHub workflow that will check it to like your main branch versus the pull request branch, which is really cool. And it basically says whether this needs to be a major update or not. That's actually super cool. Not only does it do that, but it also tells you where it breaks, where your public API breaks for this. This is really cool because Semver is hard in practice. Like what they're pointing out here is the enum variant actually can break. You wouldn't think about it, but if you publicly export an enum and you add a new variant, people's match cases are actually going to break. It's not perfectly because Rust is going to enforce you if they're not accepting unknown cases. That will actually cause your code not to compile anymore. So, this is cool. This is very cool. I like it. Nice job. Exactly, DVD. This is an amazing tool. I love it. And do you know what? I bet you now, part of this is powered by Rust type system. Go is going to have a harder time finding these things because they don't have as powerful of a type system, and that's a little bit sad. But I think half of these checks could be done on Go as well. You could run something that checks to see if all of the publicly exported functions kept the same name, and if they're public and in the public folder, and they haven't kept the same signature, that's a breaking change. So I'd like to see more of these tools made. This is actually really good, and we should use it in some GitHub actions. So anyways, just letting you guys know this is out there. Let's talk about cloud news. Did anybody else see anything else out there? In just general engineering. I try to bring up anything that general engineers might find useful. We actually have a decent amount of cloud news to go through as well. So this is essentially a closed API schema checker. No, it's not an open API, but it's checking your public API schema. Yeah. Anything that's public, not closed. Well, I don't know what you mean by closed. So this is what it's doing here. It's checking to see if you've deleted a public struct, if you've deleted a public field that was, or made it private, if you added a variant to a public enum, if a variant was removed, if a enum is removed. I got it. I see. I'm sorry. I thought I got it. It's cool. So I think the library people should be using this more. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And I mean, like, I being strict with Simvar is hard because it's so easy to accidentally change something that you don't even realize. It's just really easy to accidentally do to break something. All right, let's talk about cloud. A new cloud KMS auto key can help encrypt your resources quickly and efficiently. Encryption is a fundamental control for data security, sovereignty, and privacy in the cloud. While Google Cloud provides default encryption for customers at rest, many organizations want greater control over their encryption keys that control access. So basically, they provided, we're excited to announce the launch of Cloud KMS Auto Key in preview. Cloud automates the key control operations for CMEK. It incorporates recommended. So basically, it just provides better control automatically for your keys, which a lot of people can use. I haven't leveraged this quite yet, but I'm assuming that it handles like rotation and observability of those types of things as well, because it says that it eliminates the manual effort in key creation. Key rings and keys are generated automatically during resource creation. This is actually one of the things that I wanted to do in the Null cloud. So I'm glad that they brought this up because this is a problem I have seen in the clouds where you have to manage all of these IAM rules and responsibilities and keys and secrets and whatnot, and there's no good way of doing it. And I was like, how about when the resource is created, a access key is given to it, created for it, and that's what they're trying to do here. So this is actually really, really good. This is they're stealing my thunder with the Null cloud. New cloud SQL upgrade tool for MySQL, PostgreSQL. I said MySQL and then I said PostgreSQL. So I'm just gonna be consistent. MySQL and PostgreSQL. That's actually hard to say. Major version Enterprise Plus. So basically, there's a new upgrade tool. If you guys are using those, go for it. Not a big deal. GKE under the hood, what's new with the cluster autoscaler? So basically, they've upgraded and updated their cluster autoscaler. And basically, there's better features for target replica count tracker, the fast homogeneous scale up, less CPU waste, and memory optimization. So basically, I guess they made all of those things better. Hopefully, you guys can actually see and leverage that for those of you running on GKE. I don't know. I haven't seen that. I do actually have some stuff running in GCP in GKE, but I haven't actually noticed any of this stuff. My stuff doesn't rapidly scale though. It scales over time. So I'm not that I'm running in GCP. So I'm not sure if I would actually be a great test for this. You guys can make us rapidly scale. If you go to dev.aerospike.com, I think it's dev.aerospike.com. No, it's not. Is it develop? Oh, you know what we did? So if you all went and started doing this, basically you all get a sandbox in Kubernetes. So yeah, basically at this point, it's spinning up a container for you to do all of this stuff in. It's pretty awesome. But if you all went and started doing it, it would scale quickly. It would scale quickly. That's for sure. I mean, if you guys want to play around with it, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to. It doesn't ever see high. If you guys do and it breaks, it's on you. It never sees rapid increase. The only time it sees rapid increase is in like around trade shows, I think. There's just like people that go and try it out, but I might pre-scale it ahead of time. Don't tell anybody about that. All right, retirement of Azure Cloud Services Guest OS families 2, 3, and 4. So if you're on Guest OS families 2, 3, and 4 for cloud services and cloud service extended, the end of life dates are as follows. So you have 2024 in December. You have 2025 of February of 2025, and the other one, I don't know. I don't use these, so good luck if you're using them. Got to get off of them quick. Public preview, advanced network observability for your Azure Kubernetes service clusters through Azure Monitor. I'm not sure if I brought this one up. Their website has been going under a lot of maintenance. I feel like I brought this one up, but I wasn't sure. So I thought I'd bring it up again because it is actually a big deal for the advanced container networking services. This brings a lot more observability to your networks in the Azure Kubernetes service, or AKS. So I highly check English. I got to learn it one of these days. I highly recommend, if you're running on AKS, you go and check this out if I hadn't brought it up in previous. General availability of encryption using customer managed keys for backup vaults. I do know that I brought this up, but I brought it up when it was in public preview. So this allows you to bring your own keys for backup vaults, which is awesome. It's now in general availability, which usually means you have an SLA and stuff like that about it. It's also been a little bit hardened, so cool. Use it. Another interesting thing, maybe this will be another stretch goal. Let me put this as another stretch goal for our AI games. I thought it would be fun to okay, so where one stretch goal is and then our second stretch goal is build our own Copilot. It sounds kind of fun to build our own Copilot as a learning experience. Azure, build your own Copilot with AI. So those will be our stretch goals. I'll come up with some viewers and achievements that we can achieve to unlock those goals. I thought this would be another good one. Build a Copilot that suggests rewriting all your code in Rust. That would be hilarious. I'm going to do that because then I can make a video about it. So if we hit this goal, what I'm going to do is make a funny educational video for my Null Labs channel, like my main YouTube channel, where I built, the thing is, I'm going to say I built my own Copilot. And then in the end, that's what we're going to learn. Fantastic. Thank you, Russell. I got to do that. Fantastic. All right. Is Q Developer coming for Copilot? I forgot the name of Copilot. Is Q Developer coming for Copilot? Remember that Whisperer, the code Whisperer, was merged into Q Developer for Quantum Developer in machine learning. Now, what that means for us is that we're going to be testing Q Developer instead of Whisper. Now, the cool part is it finally has context awareness in Q Developer chat. So it's maybe more of a one-to-one competitor with Copilot. So this is really awesome. Remember how I said one of the cool things with Copilot was that you could ask a question by like highlighting a section, like a function or something like that and ask a question about that function, well, that's coming to Q Developer. I think that's a huge deal because I think that Kodi and Copilot were the only ones to have that up until now, and that was a really useful tool. Now, Kodi didn't do it very well. If you asked it for problems, it would always list 5 problems, whether it had to hallucinate 5 problems or had to come up with 5 real problems. There was issues with it, but I'm looking to see how it's improved later this summer. AWS Secret Manager announces a new open source release of Secret Manager agent. I think this is really cool. So there's a new Secret Manager agent that's open source, which means you can use this wherever you like. I actually think, and it also gives you a HTTP service, so you can actually just use that without it can be used with any language. I like this. If you're using AWS Secret Manager already for your secrets, this is a huge step for this. I think that this is fantastic. So again, if you're using it, great. If you're on GCP, you're out of luck. You're out of luck. Amazon ECS now enforces software version consistency for containerized applications. This is huge. This is huge. One of the biggest mistakes that I have seen people do is use something where understanding the pull policy on your cluster. And it means also things like mutable tags like latest, or what some people don't even realize. What some people don't even realize is, can I just open a new text file? Okay, I can't. What some people don't even realize is that something like Ubuntu 1.2 could actually be a mutable tag. Why? Because they release patch versions underneath it that they guarantee don't break anything. And so it's a mutable tag that's the latest of that. It bites so many people in the derriere that I can't even describe how many people it hurts. That being said, this is actually using the digest. So I don't know if you guys know what a container image digest is, but a digest is basically an immutable tag of everything. It's a SHA, it's a 256 SHA. And it's actually really how you should be consuming containers if you're doing it right. But this is actually, I hope that other Kubernetes clusters go this way, because what happens is you don't have to worry about this anymore. If you can use this, and what it says is, if one of your new machines pulls a new image that's, this, and all the rest of your cluster is on the 0.2, it's going to update all of the ones on your whole cluster to make sure they're all running the exact same version. This is huge. This is good. This is amazing. Absolutely. I actually think that if all of your clusters are running the 0.2 and you spin up a new one, instead of pulling the 0.3, it will actually pull the 0.2. I think that's actually how it works, but I didn't get too far into it. It's actually really, really awesome. Oh, my bad. It's for the news because I like this version for the news, and that's because it cuts out like all the tabs. It hides all of the stuff that I put through the production. I'm trying to make the production of the news a little bit, I think this looks good because it hides all that stuff. That was my bad though. Showing the terminal without that. My super bad. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for GS Volt for calling that out. Thanks for calling that out. Yep. Yeah, I like to run the news this way just because it looks a little bit more. I'm trying to make it as large as I can of the thing that you're supposed to see. I don't know. I'm trying my best. All right. Yeah, it's just cleaner. This is just like really busy, messy. This is clean. That was the goal of it. I just have to remember if I'm doing the news and I show something on another screen, I've got to undo. All right. Thank you. All right. AWS License Manager now integrates with Red Hat Subscription Manager. This is going to be nice for those who use AWS and use Red Hat. I don't do that. If that's you, it's going to empower you to just manage things in one place, which is going to be nice. But other than that, that's about the only people affected by this. And chatting about your AWS resources and now generally available in Amazon Q Developer. This is hilarious to me because when we first tried Q Developer, literally, ask anybody that was around for those games. Literally, everybody said everything that I asked Q Developer, it told me it couldn't respond about. Literally, I was asking about like what's in my AWS account, and the only thing it would tell me is like really generic things like how do I spin up a new EC2 instance? So I'm very excited to see the improvements that have come through Q Developer in this new AI games, this new round of AI games. We're going to see it. We're going to check it out. We're going to have some stretch goals. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take a Friday off. We're going to do a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. And then there's going to be some stretch goals. And if we hit those stretch goals, we're going to have the next Saturday and Sunday of 8-hour things for you guys. I can't afford to take any more time off. I'm already taking today off to work on my house, and I might take another day off next week to work on my house. So I can't afford to take another day off, but we'll have some stretch goals that you guys can achieve or help me achieve, and we'll test some more stuff out. That was it for the news. Oh, wait. You know what? I missed this. 1 second. GS Volt. I'm so sorry. You did send something. Let me pull it up. Let's see what this is. Vulnerability affecting 1.5 million servers lets attackers attach malicious files. Email servers are the worst. Oh. The server is running a version of Exum. What is this? Is this an open source project? Okay. So an open source mail client. I have not used it. Email transfer agent that is vulnerable to critical vulnerability. That came to like 10 days ago. Tracked as this, carrying a severity rating of 9.1 out of 10. The vulnerability makes it trivial for threat actors to bypass protections that normally prevent the sending of attachments that install apps or execute code. So a fix is available in the release candidate. Cool. So we should be seeing an update if you guys are using Exum. Awesome. Thanks for bringing it up. This is what I want to see. You guys are awesome. Russell. Sorry, I was working on. This could be awesome. This is where I think these are the types of things AI could do really, really well. List my S3 buckets or show my running EC2 instances in US East 1. These aren't hard things to do in the UI itself. Like, this isn't amazing or anything like super groundbreaking. But what it's going to help you do is when you're in something like this, in something like this, and you have a chat open with Q. So in VS Code, you can have the chat open with VS Code. If you can't remember a bucket name, instead of jumping over to AWS and pulling it up, you can just say, hey, Q, what's my bucket's names? What's my secrets? I forget the name of the secrets. I forget the name of the whatnot. I think that will make it really fast. And that's awesome. Like, it's a really good use. I'm happy with that. I'm happy to call out good uses of this type of tool. I just think that we need to get around the hype. And my goal as a news person, as a social media connoisseur, not a connoisseur, that would be like somebody, I don't know, and I'm not good at social media, but my job is to hopefully help us cut through the hype, help people learn and understand. And sorry, sometimes I get a little bit passionate about it. GS Volt, absolutely. This is why I don't think it's okay to be like, well, I'm not a security person, I just write some code. I think we all need to start thinking about it better. Now, obviously, if you guys go watch, I have a video posted. We went through the hack of OpenSSH. I don't expect any of us to be thinking about our code in the way that OpenSSH got hacked. But it's important for us to be thinking about those things. Like, I wouldn't blame any developer for not for making that issue happen. But I think it's important for us to understand how that happened, because you know what, now I know about some more things that could cause my application to be vulnerable. And I think that it's so important for us to not just throw security over the fence and actually be cognizantly thinking about, hey, did I sanitize my headers? Did I parse them correctly? Are we doing these things? These are the basics of any of that type of stuff. And I think it's really important that we actually start thinking about it. And better yet, I think that I'm going to point us to this article. One second, let me find the article. I know it. I will have to find it. And basically, the thing is, I'd like to start seeing libraries and tools codifying the inability to do bad security things as default. That's what I'd like to start seeing. So if you have a header parser, codify that you can't do insecure things by default. I think, honestly, we can put a lot of this in our libraries. The blog was really good. It was written by another creator. I will post it when I find it. I will post it when I... There's one last thing that I forgot that just came up last night. That probably only affects a few people. There is a huge issue that has come up, and I'm sorry that I missed this at the beginning. The proof of concept developed for GhostScript. I don't use GhostScript. I don't know anybody that uses GhostScript, but if you use GhostScript, this is a 10 out of 10 remote code execution vulnerability. I think it's actually a 9.6, if I remember right, 9.7, but it's basically as easy as it gets. So if you use GhostScript, I can execute code on your machine if it's publicly accessible. Basically, it's not even difficult. Not even difficult. they execute the attack through a macro in Windows. It's so easy. It's so easy. So if you're using GhostScript, yeah, it's been fixed, but you need to make sure that it's. This was actually the wrong one. This was the wrong one. It's a 2024. It's a new one. Anyways, I forgot that this came up literally last night. This was raised to my attention. Not 2023. I don't know. There's a 2024 CVE. Here we go. A remote code execution model document conversion toolkit widely used in Linux system. It's currently being exploited. Is GhostScript actually widely used? I don't know. Not entirely sure. MVD is sucking it up, not doing their job. That's okay. I don't know. I've never used GhostScript. I don't know. That might be what it is. Is that what it is? Not sure, but like I said, it just came to my attention. If you're using it, you need to look it up because, yeah, it's a thing. Maybe I've used it indirectly. Maybe a tool I've used has used GhostScript. That is possible. I have never personally directly used GhostScript, intentionally used it, or anything of such. But that's not the point. That's not my point. I know nothing about it. That's my point. Is I know nothing about it. I just know that I sit on. I do a lot of security stuff. Randomly, I get roped into it, and this was raised to my attention because I had to validate that nothing I do has GhostScript late last night. There you go. Okay, that's it for me today. I have to get going because I have some more mudding to do. Oh my goodness, I have a contractor that came in and tore up my house, and I'm so annoyed because he dinged up walls that were painted that I have to now repair and paint again. I'm so angry. This is what I've been doing this week. If you guys think that I haven't been streaming because I've been slacking off and playing games, that's not true. I am working really, really hard. And so anyways, that's absolutely not true. Thank you all for joining me. I look for it. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. I do have a lot of work. I probably won't stream as long as I normally do on Saturdays, but I am going to at least stream for 2 or 3 hours tomorrow. We're going to fix my Twitch alerts with the engine, the HTMX that was wrong. We're going to fix that, get that redeployed, and it's going to be awesome. I don't know if we're going to get into, I know that we had wanted to talk about gossip protocols and clustering. I don't know if we'll get to go into a full conversation about that, but we'll see. We'll see what I have the time to prepare tonight. All right, that's it for me today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope to see you on next Tuesday. I hope to stream a little bit more consistently going forward.